We're almost there and nowhere near it. All that matters is that we're going. This is one of my favorite quotes because it always reminds me that even though I look at the person I want to be and think that she may be just a little bit distant, I can always look back and see how far I've come. That's what I'm doing in today's video as I reflect on the 29 years of my life, especially this last decade or 9 years or so. She was stronger alone. This is what 20 taught me. Not that you don't need family, community, friends, but I realized that, let's face it, we have to face a lot of our life on our own, and I might as well get used to being alone. I became more independent, I started enjoying my own company, and I just savored those times with myself and learned to face everything that I could on my own, with God's help, of course. 21 felt like I was starting over. I felt as if I had inhaled a fresh breath of air and I was ready to take on the world. This was the time I learned to enjoy the present. I enjoyed the long drives, I enjoyed the time with family, the trips with friends, travel, photography, cooking. I just learned to be more present and be happy with whatever life gave me. We thrive in the uncomfortable. That's what 22 taught me. New city, new job, new language, new culture. I was thrown into the unknown. But this was also the year that I believe I thrived the most professionally. So personally, I was a little shaken up. This was the year that I can look back on and think I did a lot this year. 23 was a little bit of a mess, but there is beauty that can be found in the midst of mess, is what I learned that year. One moment I felt I was floating above it all, and the next I felt like I was drowning and I couldn't even come up for air. But I made it, and if you're going through something like that, so will you. Growing pains is what I would call this year. If you want to grow, you have to go through the pain. 24 was the year I embraced change and stopped resisting all that life was offering to me. Resistance takes a lot of energy and time, and to save that energy and the time, I decided to stop resisting. I decided to accept all that life was giving me, say yes to opportunities, and just surrender to life. This was the year with a lot of hyperventilation and butterflies, but this was also the year that changed a lot for me and for my life. Life after 25 was the time where I started exploring new facets of myself and this world. What I realized was you don't need to physically move from a place in order to explore new things. We just need to type in what we want to learn, what we want to understand, and we are transported to this new reality. And I enjoyed that new reality of getting to know so many different things just because I was open to all that life was teaching me, and I started seeking those lessons by myself. 26 was the year I started getting more involved in public life. I've always taken from life. I've taken from the people around me, from the books I've read, from the movies I've watched, taken, and tried to build the version of me that I would be proud of. But this year I decided it was time to give back in a more intentional way than I have ever done before. Inspire instead of being inspired, guide instead of being guided, create instead of just standing in awe of creativity. This is the year I learned to do my part. 27 was the year I decided to throw caution to the wind and take all the risks needed, say yes to all the opportunities given, and do whatever was needed to become more me. I realized that I myself was holding myself back by self-destructing so many times, and this year I thought, that was enough, no more. I did all I could to better myself, to grow myself, to evolve, and I intentionally removed habits or behaviors that were not serving me or serving the world I wish to give back to. I became more consistent, I became more organized, I became more disciplined, and in the process, I became free. Even before I turned 28, I knew exactly what 28 was going to teach me. It was going to teach me to stretch myself and to go beyond to a place that I have never gone before. Both professionally and personally, I was stretched. And though the initial pain of being stretched was very, very real, the endorphins released through the process and at the end of the process made it worthwhile. That was enough to make me feel that I don't mind going through this process again and again and again until I become the person I'm meant to be. And that brings me to 29. With all these lessons from the last decade, almost, in my arsenal, I am still not quite sure what 29 is going to teach me. But I know that I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever life brings my way. I'm ready for whatever life expects of me. I'm ready to use up all that has been given to me. In the paraphrased words of Irma Bombeck, I would say, when I stand before God at the end of my life, I would like to say to him that I used up everything that you gave me. Miles Monroe says it in a shorter way. He said,